nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. But let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. Your eyes, they sparkle with every click. Sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome me back to Last Call. That's right, because tonight marks my return to the mic after a week away at MegaCon. So presumably all of you who are here right now haven't forgotten about me. Thanks so much. And we are back with a new energy and vision for the channel going forward, thanks entirely to the encouragement and wisdom of the wonderful humans we spent the last week with which we spent the last week. Excuse my dangling participle. Or is that a split infinitive? Whatever. We're here to talk and drink. And here to talk and drink with us are a few of those wonderful humans I was just talking about. So strap in, top off your glasses, tell me what you're sipping on in the chat, and we'll roll out this return to the Canarble Wagon right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Salute. Okay, well, I got this far. You guys know I'm still getting used to this new platform, and I got a little bit of advice before the stream from one of our guests, and super appreciate it. Can't promise there won't be any little muck-ups as we go along, but I'm going to do my best. Welcome, everybody. Hope you all are doing well here, and I'm going to change things up just a little bit because first thing I want to do is wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. I do know that a couple of our guests can't stay very long because, Valentine's Day, and salute to them as well. But speaking of Valentine's, I want to bring in somebody that I want to ask to be my Valentine again for what is this? The 33rd year in a row. And okay, so yes. Here we go. I've already messed it up with this dynamicness, but we'll get this figured out. How you doing, my dear? And what are you sipping on? And will you be my Valentine?
I will always be your Valentine.
Sweet.
And because it has been, even though a short work week, it's still been a long week.
Mm-hmm.
I am drinking a Rockstar Pure Energy.
Oh, you broke out another one, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm a little worn out, so
yeah,
I figured that'll help wake me up a little bit.
It's been a week. It's been a week, and
well, the first part of the week was fun.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the latter part of the week that.
Well, the first part of the week was the drive home. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's start saying hi to some of the people we hung out with last week. Starting with, believe it or not, first time I met this guy, Aged Boomer. How you doing, my friend? And what are you sipping on? Yeah, might be muted.
And I didn't recognize him without his tractor.
He thinks his tractor's sexy.
Yes. Yeah, he's muted. Can you unmute him?
Did I mute him?
No.
There you are. No, you're fine. I can hear you now. You're just fine.
Okay.
Yeah. How you doing? What you sipping on?
I'm doing great. I'm drinking a Coca-Cola. That's what I'm having.
Oh, I didn't tell everybody what I'm sipping. I'm sipping on a brown mumbler. Getting back on brand, I suppose. That's one way to put it. Which of course is a very strong Manhattan, a drink that I was unable to get when I was in Florida. The best they could do was an old fashioned. So brown mumbler. Yes. So we got to meet for the first time last week. How was your drive home? Once
Fine,
you found
very
your car. Once you found your car.
I found
you
it.
went out the wrong
window?
door. I was. Well, because I had to make sure you got to your car okay.
I had the image of me going out the door, it said exit, but then like a big old fire alarm going off, and I'm like, where's the main lobby? I'm just going to head out that way. Maybe I could have head out the back.
Oh, you went all the way around.
Yeah.
I thought you just went out because there was a door 90 degrees from the one you needed to go out.
It was probably fine, but I don't know. I just didn't. I want nothing to go wrong, so I figured I'm just going to go out the main lobby.
No worries, no worries.
No worries on the drive home, very smooth. One of my smoothest drives back I've had in a while, actually. So,
and the next person I'm going to bring in is just because he can help me out with a little bit of this technical issue that I'm having here. Let's get Culture Casino in here. How you doing, my friend? What are you sipping on?
Right now, I have a little bit of the normal liquid libation. I have a normal domestic beverage called beer. So there's that.
Beer. Okay.
That's right. No, it's fine.
Hardly ever touch the stuff myself, but that's perfectly fair.
No. But tonight, yeah. I mean, it is Valentine's Day. I need to keep ready. I need to be at the ready, so that when I'm stolen away from this lovely program, I'll be able to be a better Valentine. But look, you're doing great so far. And one of the things that you can use is a studio mode, so that you can preview what the next scene will be. So, yeah, on your left screen will be your preview, and on your right will be what is actually live. And if you divide it up as such, you'll be able to bring somebody in before you actually hit the transition button in the center. Bring them in on the right-hand side. Yeah.
See everybody getting this, peek behind the curtain type of thing. How awesome is that? You know what I think I'm going to do, though? I think I might just move to dynamic mode.
And you've got the two guests that you have remaining are, by the way, some of the most impressive people that I've known. Plus,
they absolutely are.
Plus, they are very, very helpful. They're very, very talented, and they're just absolutely great guys. So I can't wait. I got it. I like you got a chance to hang out with them, and it was like.
Had you never met them in person before?
Not in person. I was walking on the moon, dude. You have no idea. These are people that I respect these two guests, folks. I'm not building them up. You all know them. You have to know them. They're everywhere, and they do amazing things. And like I said, it's a great privilege. I'm just glad to be here. Aged Boomer, we walked among.
You two didn't get a chance to meet because
no. I'm just gonna say we walked amongst greatness.
Excellent.
Let me switch to that dynamic mode. See if I can get this figured out.
I think
you back in again.
There you go. Just hit that transition button.
There we go. And then let me go ahead and get those two special guests in that you were just talking about, so people know who we're talking about. So we got Gary Ambrosia and Andy Masterson. How you doing, my friends? And what are you both sipping on?
Hey, what's happening, guys? I am sipping on. I'm treating myself tonight. A unsweetened, pure leaf, no sugar, dirt water iced tea. Isn't that
water iced
No,
tea.
I have to tell you, I love tea. Like as a golfer, I like to mix my tea with lemonade. It's called an Arnold Palmer.
Oh yeah.
Netter drinks Arnold Palmers all the time. Yeah.
Andy told me that drinking too much iced tea will give you kidney stones, though. So I'm looking forward to that.
Have you never had one?
Oh,
not yet. No.
Oh,
Gary,
Netter, which is worse, kidney stones or giving birth?
Oh,
I've had both. I would actually say kidney stone is worse.
Yep, and
I've been through birth twice.
I suffered. Yep. Wow. I suffered through the kidney stone. God, it had to have been before COVID, right? So it must have been about 7 years ago or so. Oh God, I wanted to die. I just wanted to die. But let's not talk about that. That will really drive away all of my remaining viewership. But in fact, speaking of my viewership, I want to say hi to everybody, starting with PJ of Orville Nation, who may or may not still be in the chat. But welcome, PJ. Always good to see you. Channel member, huge. He was one of my biggest cheerleaders from the beginning. Got a lot of great advice from him, just like I've gotten from all of you all. We'll get to that a little bit more later. Hail Mark PJ. Malnikoff is saying hi from the dilithium mines of Rurapente. Mark, good to see you, my friend. Yes. Imprisoned without due process, just because they were taking a tour of the con. And they ran afoul of some bad politics. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into it. Hail Fluff Chick Productions, great channel. She just started a Discord. Make sure you're following her.
Look at that cute little budgie. That was amazing.
Yeah. She's the bird woman of YouTube.
She is.
Matanui saying hi. Good to see you, my friend, always. And then Fluff Chick comes in under her other ID, Connie Cleary. Welcome. Good to see ya.
Look at
Big Al presents. Hello,
hey,
my
Big
friend.
Al. I have not seen Big Al in a long time. Good to see you, Big Al.
He was just watching Bride of Frankenstein for Valentine's Day. They just did a watch party. I hope that went well, Big Al. He'll be hanging out on Netter's channel tomorrow night for The Fifth Element, I believe it is.
Is that what it is?
I believe it is. Double check for me, because we're going to have to talk about that at the end of the stream, of course. JPRPH1 celebrates 8 months of membership. Thank you so much. Dropping the membership emojis, the Canarble Wagon, the fedora, the brown mumbler, and the channel logo. Thank you so much. Wonderfully encouraging supporter of the channel. And of course, the lovely Netter of Netter's Network. I love you too, my dear. Let's see here. Channel member Mark Dahley reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. Well, I've been gone for 2 weeks, so anything that happened in the past 2 weeks, I've kind of missed out on. I'm still playing catch up, but totally worth it. Totally worth it. Tim Hayes, channel member, welcome and hail. Good to see you, my friend. Love the fact that you guys are saying hi to each other. That's always encouraging to me. Makes me feel like part of a community here. David Pensack. Howdy, my friend. Good to see ya. Jesse Guajardo. Hello there, my friend. And I may miss some comments because I want to make sure I say hi to everybody, including Sir Torrin Clegane. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you. Gary Ambrosia's in the house. Big surprise there.
Well, kick his ass out.
Yeah. What's up with that
No,
guy?
Jeez, your ratings
these
are just
good
going to
people.
go
I like-
down.
I now have after this past week, I have a new appreciation for that icon of yours. That is, what was it called again? What's the
Oh,
anagram?
the
Dollar Store
Doomcock
restaurant.
Space Authority guy, the little
DS
DSA, yeah.
DSA, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, I abbreviated it that because I was dressed up to shoot something down at the beach, and there was a busload of like kindergartners taking a field trip down there, and they saw me in this outfit, and somebody said, "Oh, look, it's an astronaut," and another kid said, "He looked like a dollar store astronaut." And I was like, you know what? That's what we're gonna call it, the dollar store astronaut.
astronaut. So
DSA,
you DSA.
Doomcock Space Authority.
Very good.
Doomcock Space. It works both ways. I like
Right.
that. I like that
Yeah,
very much.
so God bless that little kid.
Salute, deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, what's up, Steve?
I do believe he was over there with Big Al for that
Big
watch
Al.
party. Let's see here. Don't want to miss nobody. Don't want to miss nobody.
Oh, there's a big
Especially
somebody.
don't want to miss. Sorry, you don't.
Culture
especially don't want
Casino,
to miss the
yeah.
super chats.
No,
I'm glad
not
to see
me.
him in
No,
the
no,
chat.
no. There's another guy. There's this other
Mhm.
guy.
We have
He's
another
got
friend here.
Yeah, he's got the biggest voice ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good evening, Daniel
hey,
Berry
Daniel.
Sports Highlights. Good to see you, my friend.
The only thing bigger than this guy's voice is his heart.
True.
Oh,
He
it's
saved my life in Florida. I was being attacked by a shark.
I'm scrolling through
He
as
yelled at
quickly
it.
as I can. Keely Chow, welcome. Good to
Hey!
see you.
Hey, just so you know.
You're
Roll
noticing a
Tide.
lot of cross-pollination, right?
Yeah. Roll Tide, Keely. Roll Tide.
Clinton 3D. Good
Hey.
to see you, my friend. I said Clinton, didn't I? I meant Clifton.
Clinton?
I'm doing real well here. Well, I'm having a double on that brown mumbler. That's why I'm. Oh my goodness!
There you go.
Oh my goodness!
I
Yes,
think
you're
you
right. Big
finally
voice.
saw it.
Big voice. Look at all these fine panelists. Jonas, if you would like to join us, you absolutely could. Netter could send you the link if you are not currently otherwise involved. You would totally fit in as one of the people. I was not going to mention this.
One
since
of
you're
us.
here,
One
of us, exactly. I got to hang out with all the people that you see on the panel tonight, and as well as Jonas J. Campbell. I got to meet him in person, and he was, God, I thought he was a nice guy. Interacting with him on the interwebs and on the social medias, he is such a nice guy in person.
I am so proud to call him my friend. He is such a Jonas is look, everybody that you're going to meet, whether it be Gary Ambrosia, whether it be Andy Masterson, whether it's Boomer, whether it's the lovely Knitters Network, it's the weirdest thing. They are the same people online as they are in person, and vice versa. It is a joy to meet these people.
Well, Culture, we were talking about this just before the stream, right? I said, I literally am not doing anything special when I'm on a stream. I'm just being me, and maybe screwing up the technical aspects. But I mean, as far as the personality and everything, I like to think I'm identical in person as I am on stream. I'm not good at carrying on a fictitious personality.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to live in a persona, right? So it's just easier to be you, which is the advice I give everybody. Just be yourself. I mean, it saves time, and you don't have to put on airs. And when you walk around amongst these people for 4, 5, 6 days, you're like, these are like who these people are. It's just
exactly right. It's like being on a panel together. It's just so Sin, thank you so much. Sin actually helped put me back in contact with one of the folks that I met this weekend because I knew she'd be able to. I'd lost his contact information, but I desperately wanted to find out about. And Netter, if you can drop, you know what? Heck with that. I'm going to go ahead and drop.
You're going to have to, because I don't remember his name.
No. what's important is that you follow the channel and the website. The website is criticless.com. That's CRITIC, like critic, less, without a critic.com. And I'm going to drop the website in the chat right now. And I want you guys to all go check this out. It is.
And Jonas, if you want to join us, I did send you the link on X.
Yep. And this web page, criticless.com, I thought from his description, he made it sound like Rotten Tomatoes but good. Oh, it's way better than that. It is like a whole social network for people who love cinema. And Culture's on there, and well, now I'm on there, even though I don't really do much movie critique or anything. Tom Connors is on there, Sin is on there, Deleted Scenes is on there, and a whole bunch of people I don't know that I'm going to need to get to know. But you guys should check it out. Talk about how Culture's always saying he watches movies so you don't have to. All the people on this site do that too. So go check that out.
Yeah, Blaine is incredible. His website's incredible. He's there all the time. He shares his life with you. And now Criticless is his life. So you have to check it out, participate. It's a good time. You build a community there just like, well, we're all used to doing, whether it being around Doomcock or That Park Place or Pro or Valiant Renegade or Midnight's Edge or any of these other great places. This is a place to just communicate strictly about film and television. And pretty soon, don't tell anybody, there might be something else that they're going to add that you can communicate about. It's very good news. Very good news.
That's awesome. He's creating his own whole social network there. It's really, really great. Thank you so much, Nate. Geek Flag with Nate Knows, 1973. Greetings and salutations to the Council of YouTube. Absolutely. Joshua V, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Let's see here. Kind of skimming through because like I said, I never want to miss anybody.
And of course, if I missed anybody with my high speed, you gotta let me know because I tried to get everybody.
I do see a lot of people coming in under different IDs, and that's fine. I don't mind. You whatever you're doing, just stop in and say hi. I'm getting to recognize alternate IDs as well.
Yes.
Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips, welcome, my friend. It's always
and don't forget to hit that thumbs up.
And Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. You're a VIP in my book because you're a VIP member. Thank you. Yes, Lester is here. And all of you all are here. So again, I know I've been laying this on thick, guys, but I want to thank everybody for letting me join y'all at the cool kids table. Making me feel like I'm, popular, taking me under your wing. You guys were so nice. And it really started with, of all people, Gary Ambrosia talking to Netter and saying, hey, you going to go to this MegaCon? And she probably said the same thing I would have said. What the hell's a MegaCon? But
I figured it was a convention that was just mega.
Well, yeah, and I'd heard a lot about it. I was like, well, okay, yeah, And she's like, yeah, it's in 3 weeks. Ooh, okay. And I'm like, look, you keep the purse strings around here. You're the one who knows whether we can afford to do this thing. You're my business manager. And she said, yeah, I think we need to do this. Real quick, I want to say hi to Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf. Ow! Happy Valentine's Day, my dear. Good to see you. Oh, if you get a chance, Charlotte, make sure you check out the beginning and the end of the stream to hear my new songs. Somebody asked if my opening song was sung by you. I had to say no, but it sounds a lot like her. So, but anyway, so yes, Gary was the one who kicked me in the ass. Well, vicariously through Nanette. Yes, exactly. Because I've been sitting idle since 2019. haven't gotten myself out of the house. We haven't gone to any conventions in so long. And he said, it's time for you to get back out there, my friend. And then Andy Masterson looks at me and he's like, dude, what's with all the weight? And I'm like, well, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, this is what happens after 5 years of sitting in the house, not doing anything. So I got a lot of great advice from Andy Masterson about get ye to the gym and maybe stop eating so much of those carbs and start eating some more of those very, very expensive premium eggs that are hard to get right now, and beef like a real man, and exercise, and maybe intermittent fasting once in a while.
You also could have some backyard chickens. I think Andy would approve of that. I'm just saying.
Definitely been thinking about that. Although I've got to figure out a way to do it indoors as well, because we do live in the Midwest and it does get cold. So gotta think about that.
No.
Poop in the kitchen?
No, actually, you don't have to go to that length. You just build something solid, a little, that you can put some insulation in year round. Is fine as long as there's air that travels through it. And there's these amazing things called radiant heat lamps.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can do that. It does work.
Because although frozen chicken is good too, I don't want to freeze my chicken.
You don't want frozen eggs, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Netter tried that experiment with freezing eggs, and
they're edible. The yolks just don't.
Edible does not mean good. I mean, just saying. Seeing you all on screen together makes me want to shout, Avengers Assemble. Yes. Geez, who would we be? So I hate to think of Netter as Black Widow, because, I don't want to think of her as a widow. Of course, the obvious choice for Captain America, lower right-hand corner there.
Oh, yeah, Andy.
He's even wearing the costume.
I'm guessing Doctor Strange. That's Culture Casino. I think Gary might be what? Tony Stark, maybe? That's how you come off to me, I suppose.
Great, Tony.
Boomer, that leaves you and me as the odd ones out. I think, Boomer, you might be... Who do we have left? You're Hawkeye, I guess, and I'm.
I'm
Jarvis.
Troy, you're definitely Black Widow.
I'd like to think of myself as the Hulk, but I gotta do a whole lot more workout before that. What were you gonna say,
I don't
Boomer?
know. Someone years ago, a librarian said when she was saying what superhero would even was, someone said I was the Hulk. So I don't know what that means. I don't think so, but Yeah.
We when Netter and I were doing conventions, we were a part of a group that did a lot of steampunk, and we were moving towards doing a steampunk version of the Avengers, which would have cast me as the Hulk, but my character would have been more like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which of course is exactly what inspired the Incredible Hulk. So. But
now I can actually see Troy as the Incredible Hulk, just because
she knows what I get like when I get angry.
If any of you have ever seen him angry, he's Hulk.
Real quick, little side jaunt here. Culture Casino did a video you should all check out. He did the post-mortem on that. What do you call it? The Captain America. And at one point he mentioned, or he actually showed a picture of the 1970s.
1979. Yeah.
Was it 1979?
Yeah, 79. It was was as a kid. I wanted it to be a TV show. It was.
Did too.
It was a film of the original Captain America. Now
it was actually 2 films, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, and that was back in the days. Like if you didn't own a VCR. Which we'd just gotten one. And by the way, it was like this giant, enormous tape deck of Doom that literally was ready to like make the TV cart. Like,
was it a VTR or a VCR?
No, VCR. Yeah.
Okay.
And you had to like, when you pressed record, you had to push play and record, and it was like pressing down on like, you know, something
Ka-thunk.
like
Yeah.
yeah, you were
Yep.
ready to like basically blow buildings up, right, Gary?
Yes.
I mean, it was it was like and it was like but yeah, I mean, it was crazy because you really only got back in those days. You got one opportunity to watch the things that you loved on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I was such a huge Captain America and Falcon fan at that point in time
Yeah.
that was it. Because like that 70s run of Captain America and Falcon was amazing. I talk about
Yep.
that at length in that particular review. But and thank you for watching that. I'm stunned. But
I watch almost every one of your videos. Dude.
okay,
Come on.
well, thank you. But
Otherwise,
see,
I'm wasting my money on
No.
membership.
well, maybe, but I want to ask Gary. I don't know. I mean, I want to ask Gary a question because he would know. Did any of that stuff survive from that? Do you remember that movie, 1979, Captain America, when they put that on?
Let me real quick refresh everybody's memory.
Oh, yes.
Well, who produced it? Wasn't it Corman?
I think it was Corman. Yeah, I think it was Corman.
Did it survive? I don't know. Oh, wait, this is the TV show, right?
Yeah, the TV show, 1979.
Yeah, so I don't know that I don't think that was Corman. I don't know, man. What was it? A Universal production?
I don't even remember. I don't remember. I think it was, but here's the weird thing. I think that did Larson do the Street Hawk show?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it had that same feel. Regardless, it was just because I thought if anybody would know whether things survived, it would be you because you know everything.
Yeah, well, I've seen lots of junky, trashy props from many of our beloved TV shows at many prop houses, and trust me, when you see them up close, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I know, but
is that really what that's from? Really? Gosh, you look at like stuff from Buck Rogers, and you're like, it's crooked.
I know, but
yeah, I know.
Why are you ruining my life? No,
I'm sorry.
No. I know better than that.
I'll send it all over to you. I'll
No,
send
no,
it all over to you. I got all of it, and it's
yeah,
junk.
I know you do, but
have
I like man, everything from that show was so beloved to me, and it was a terrible show. I've watched it.
It was a terrible. You watch it as an adult, and it's like, I don't remember.
When you're a kid, it's awesome.
Yeah.
The worst is that this was me coming off of the 1967, 69, I can't remember, Marvel Superheroes show.
Oh, wow.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield. And so I saw all of those classic comic book stories set in World War II, Bucky and all that kind of stuff. So I really knew the character. And then I see this, what was his name? Reb Brown, I think, was the one who played him in the 70s.
Yeah.
And you know who really knows a lot about him? Big Al. Big Al is like, he follows him on Facebook and is like had direct communication with him, says he's a real nice guy. I have no doubts about that. Real quick, I want to say hi to PitsnipeHusker. Welcome, channel member. That movie was so bad, Captain America with the ping pong ball blue helmet. I had the inertia pull CA motorcycle with the little stunt set.
Yes.
Yeah. I had two different what was it? It was Evel Knievel.
Yes.
It was just like that.
It was the same thing. Yeah, the inertia pull, right? Now, mind you, this is a toy that was just amazing because you would take the ripcord, you'd force it through the rear wheel. It was all reliant on this gear. And then because of the force of the inertia from your pull, it would stay upright because it was gyroscopic.
Yeah, it had something like a flywheel type of thing.
It was gyroscopic. So when you pulled that wheel really hard using the teeth in the pull cord, the rip cord, and you pulled it along that wheel, that thing was so gyroscopic it would keep it upright. So you could literally get it to jump or do backflips depending upon how you adjust it.
Well, that was the ripcord one. I had the Evel Knievel where you plugged it into a crank.
Oh, no way.
Yes, and that really got it up and going. And that allowed you to, with Evel Knievel, to do long jumps and flips and all that kind of stuff. Well, that those two motorcycles had to substitute for Fonzie's motorcycle and for Captain America's motorcycle because, and back then it was the MeGo Captain America because we didn't have customizers doing stuff like that. Now, so you had been talking about this has nothing to do with Captain America, but you may, if you remember that 70s Captain America, then you probably remember this guy here.
Nicholas Hammond.
Oh, Nicholas Hammond, Spider-Man. Yes, this is another custom figure that I picked up. Love that. That was technically that was a series, but it was the victim of some very bad scheduling on the network. So it came out very haphazardly and random, almost like segments of miniseries. And overseas, it was actually released as a series of movies. They edited some of those episodes together. And I may as well finish this out, the 70s custom action figures, right? You guys, this guy was the star of the 1970s superheroes.
Yep.
Right. And this one I put together with I bought the custom head from a vendor on Etsy, and then I completely created the lonely man himself. I got this backwards.
Oh,
using the Fonzie thumb.
Bruce Banner, baby.
Absolutely, and they're in a 2-pack box. God. Yeah, I am that big of a nerd, guys.
Yeah, I think we all are because we all knew all this.
You all know what I'm talking about, yes. And
dude,
and Andy's sitting down there going, "You're a cheater. You buy these things on eBay and paint the heads.
Hell no.
I sculpt them myself.
Hell no. The only reason I sculpt things myself is nobody else does some of these things.
That's actually
true. That's true.
You have to make your shelf into what you want.
Yeah.
What's rough is, see, I am not as talented as Andy Masterson. I don't know how to sculpt. And I desperately, I'm not going and getting it right now, but I also have a very similar to these.
What?
MeGo scale, Christopher Reeve, Superman, and Clark Kent. And I just want somebody desperately to make a Margot Kidder head so I could do a Lois Lane.
I think the right guy is like down there, but I want to revisit Reb Brown specifically because we don't even realize sitting here as we are now that he was such a big part of the push for sci-fi and masculine films back through the 70s and 80s. I mean, he was in Cage with Lou Ferrigno in '89. Which was about cage fighting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was in obviously Cage 2, but he was also in Uncommon Valor. Believe it or not, and that
I remember Uncommon Valor. Damn, man.
Yeah. I mean, Gene Hackman was Colonel Rhodes in that. He was McGregor. Robert Stack was McGregor. He was Blaster. There were all these amazing actors at that time that kind of just hung around these types of genre films. It was.
You want me to ruin your childhood for you?
Please don't.
Well, but you know what we're talking about. We're talking about this Reb Brown Captain America. If you think about the storyline, today we would call that woke because he was a friggin' hippie. He was a hippie artist who got pulled in by, I don't know, some mentor character who wanted him to take up the mantle of his father, who was the original Captain America. Do you remember that?
I do.
The flag serum.
Yeah, from the flag serum, right.
Yeah, make sure you pronounce the L. Totally different.
Well, yeah. I mean,
look,
and that's what I don't remember who I was talking to about this. He's like, yeah, he was a dirty hippie until he had to go out and become Captain America. I'm like, Yeah, it's not really the same as somebody who
Yeah.
served in World War II, is it?
No, it was so good.
I loved it.
Was it Christopher Lee in one of those?
Christopher Lee was the
Was it
villain
Christopher Lee
in
in one
one
of those
of.
movies?
I don't think it was. Was it? Now I'm drawing a blank. Was that in the Captain America thing? I think that was in Spider-Man. I think that was in Spider-Man with Nicholas Hammond. But yes, Christopher Lee was in one of them. You're right. But guys, you know, and this is something I'm telling my audience all the time. Growing up in the 70s, we had a Marvel Cinematic Universe before it was even in the cinema. Because, go ahead, yeah.
No, it's just like we're talking about this Captain America thing. We had two television movies because Captain America 1 and 2 in 79. Right. We had so much more. Plus, consider this: we had a Hulk television show.
Yep,
every week. I grew up with Bill Bixby, like like playing the rumbling, stumbling man that travels the the world because he's running from things or trying to find things, and you had Lou Ferrigno as his Hulk alter version,
right?
And I never suffered in television because like we had everything back then. Action television was real. Glenn Larson made sci-fi television and action television real. I don't know, everybody. I would think that both Andy and Gary can speak to that because we lived in a golden age of a sort at a time when, maybe we were spoiled with riches and we didn't know it.
We were very spoiled and we had no idea.
Yeah.
Was that the golden age of the Marvel comics? Was that the 70s?
You're muted, Andy.
I would have to argue that all comics, if you consider both DC and Marvel to have the same relative ages, the Silver/Bronze Age was probably, well, it's what I grew up with, so of course it's what I'm going to love. I think anything after the Bronze Age, as we start to get into the modern day, all new, all different Marvel and the new 52 of DC was the deconstruction of these heroes, the literal destruction of these heroes. So anything before that, I'd say absolutely. Just my thought, but you guys may have a different take on that. But Andy is probably of everybody here the one I think who most identifies with Captain America. Am I right there, Andy?
Well, he was my favorite ever since I started collecting comics in '76. It was cool because like my dad fought in World War II, Cap fought in World War II, had all these cool stories, and I grew up with a guy of that generation, so it seemed very familiar to me, like the characterization, and a lot of the writers that were writing Captain America were in the same boat I was, because my dad was 44 when I was born, so a lot of these guys were who were professional writers at the time were probably had their fathers were World War II veterans, so they knew subject matter and that kind of persona very well. And it definitely was a very different generation. There's just no excuses. You just did what you had to do. You didn't complain about anything. You just got your boots on and went to work. And I think that's probably why these people feel the need they have to modernize this, because I don't know that a lot of people in today's generations can really comprehend that concept. It's like, they're like, I don't see myself represented. Like, well, try saying that on the battlefield in World War II. Like, you run out there and tell the bad guys over there you need to be represented, and we'll send you back home.
I remember stories from, from my great uncles and whatnot who served in World War II, and even from my parents' generation who served in Vietnam and whatnot. And today they would be called racist, right? Because they would make these, what would modern day be considered racist comments. But when you really get down to it, nothing racist about them. They were just relaxed about what everyone else considers taboo, right? They literally had brothers in arms that were every race. They didn't care because you all had each other's backs.
Well, That's the conversation we need to have. There wasn't racism when I was growing up. I mean,
Right.
there was no room for it. First of
Well,
all, for my era, and again, I'm a little younger than Andy, which I'm surprised by because he's in such good shape if you see him in person.
I know
He's
he's the Robert Kennedy Jr.
I
of the
know. I feel
panel.
like, oh man, I suck at keeping myself in shape. But anyway,
Right? He's
no,
very convicting.
my relation to all of that is the Vietnam War, not World War
Yes.
II. So my elders, my parental figures, my grandparents dealt with all of that, but my parental figures were dealing with Vietnam, and so
Yeah.
like there was no time or even tolerance for racism. The 70s, I would say between 70 and 90, we eliminated racism from this planet. At least everybody who was
In any
racist.
real sense, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
anybody who was doing that, we were like shunning, like
Yeah.
you're
Anyone who was actually a racist was just an a-hole, and everyone pretty much was unified on that. But seriously, I mean, like my great uncles. I say my great uncles because my grandfather didn't serve. He was 4F. He actually kind of had some survivor's guilt over that because he didn't get to serve and he wanted
well,
to.
some of
But
that was for good reason. I mean, there
Mhm.
needed to be people to do the things back here in the States. I mean, the ladies
Well,
could
he was a truck driver, and we definitely needed truck drivers
and-
back home here. But but they would all, they would make what we would call today racist jokes.
what was
And Mhm.
no, just because we're talking about Captain America, what was the reason that Captain America fought so hard? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, go ahead.
no, but even in the film, the first Avenger, I feel bad, but even in the film First Avenger, he was 4F, right?
Yes,
He did
yes,
everything he possibly could because that survivor's guilt's real,
yes,
and he
yes,
did
yes,
everything he could do to serve, kind of like Andy Masterson and his amazing sweatshirt thing. It's cool.
yes, exactly right. But yeah, and I would hear them make these jokes, and I'd be like, that's racist. And he goes, you know what? He says some of my dearest friends are these races, and I would say them directly to their faces and they'd laugh. And I kind of started to get to understand it, right? People throw around the N-word in certain communities and it's perfectly fine because they understand each other and they understand the intent, you know? And I think we've gotten so oversensitized to words without being able to contextualize people's intent. Intent matters. Context matters. And what was it? I just heard someone today say something about if you are in great pain or on death's door and you need surgery, you don't care what race or gender your surgeon is.
Exactly.
As long as they can do the job. And I mean that could lead us into a whole talk about the whole DEI concept and everything. But this whole idea, I need to see myself represented in this, that, and the other. You know how I need to see myself represented? I look at the people that I admire and I want to be more like them. And I don't care what color they are. I care what their character is. Oh my gosh, who am I paraphrasing there? Martin Luther King. Just saying. I want to bring the conversation around real quick. I want to bring it back to comics because Gary Ambrosia, I know you are a huge movie guy, but do you have any background with comics? I don't even know.
None.
Not really at all, other
None
than what
really.
you've been in the
No,
movies.
no. I never. I didn't read when I was a kid, and I still have trouble reading. But I never.
I
I
can
never
tell that
got
about
into
you. No.
comic books. I know it's. But
Fritz the cat.
what?
Fritz the cat.
Yeah, I read that one.
Well,
In Heavy
you know
Metal
what?
Magazine, I read that one too.
That was
that got me reading.
That was some good stuff, let me tell you. Big
Right,
Al
but I
and
have
have
no
had some great
background
talk
really
together.
in comic books. I don't really
Mhm.
know a whole lot. Like my first experience with Batman was the Tim Burton movie, and then I discovered later on that it's not it's very, very far from the origin story of Batman. So
Kinda.
I was kind of bummed because that was one of my favorite movies. And now I'm starting to learn more about Batman now at this
Sure.
point. So,
In fairness on that one, though, you could say the same thing about Christopher Reeve's Superman. There was a lot of things in the Christopher Reeve Superman that had nothing to do with the comics that retroactively got worked into comic book canon. Same thing with the Tim Burton Batman. It had such an impact on the comics that they were like, that's good. Let's work that in.
It's
and
the
so
same thing for me with Superman. The first thing I saw was the Christopher Reeve film.
Not
And
a bad intro.
I hadn't read any of the comic books at all. I didn't know anything about them. So,
did you ever see the Dean Cain Lois and Clark series?
I never watched it. No.
You should give that a shot, because that was, of all, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and by all means, chat and panel, correct me if you disagree with me, but I have to say that I feel like the New Adventures of Lois and Clark was probably the best live action adaptation of the comics at the time. Maybe not letter for letter, but definitely in spirit. They went after the characters. They went after the canon. They introduced characters that had never been seen in live action that were only showing up in the comics at the time. So much so that when there was a TV strike, I can't remember if it was writers or actors who were striking at the time that held up production on Lois and Clark, they had to kind of freeze where they were going in the comics. They were leading up to the marriage of Lois Lane and Clark Kent. And they had to stop that for a year because they wanted the show to line up with the comics on that marriage thing. So that's why we got the death of Superman and the whole death and rebirth and, the alternate Superman characters because of that. That's how closely they were following. I wish Marvel or DC would get their heads in the game and pay attention to comic book canon that actually was successful, that people loved. Just saying. Just I had to get my 2 cents in. It's my show. I can rant if I want to. But so getting back to MegaCon. So again, thank you guys. You got us out to MegaCon. It was a great adventure. Great experiment for me and Netter, because we're looking at the price on this thing and we're going, well, Netter's starting to look at the price of airfare. And I'm looking at, I friggin' hate flying. Not that I hate flying itself, but I hate the airlines and the security and all that BS. She says, well, what do you want to do? Drive? And I'm like, well.
Right?
And I said, we've never done it before, but we can try.
And the other thing was, it's like, if you fly, you are limited on what you can bring with you. And you have to deal with people on a plane. Whereas if you drive, you could take whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can come and go as you want.
You could throw stuff in your car. You don't have to worry about an overhead compartment or anything like that. Real quick, I want to acknowledge, thank you so much for the super chat, Nate. He says, you're wrong, Troy. The CW's Superman and Lois was way better than the CW deserved. I've heard that from many people. I never saw an episode. No, I think I saw the first episode. But I refused to watch any CW after we tried watching Supergirl.
I think you'd be surprised through the first couple of seasons of that. It's very, very good. The Flash was good for the first couple of seasons, and I don't like CW. But like Boomer, I need to slide out because we are coming up on my Valentine's Day.
Yes, and I think so does Gary. Probably needs to drop out too. I totally understand.
Well, I texted the date. I held her off for a little bit. So
real quick, before y'all split on me, I want to ask you guys a question. Started this conversation with Culture before the stream. So Netter and I are starting to look at getting. I think Boomer's having some connection problems. Netter and I are starting to look at next year for MegaCon, and we're trying to decide what we want to do. And I was thinking, God, I loved hanging out with you guys so much. Not sure the con itself was really worth the price of admission. I think I had more fun hanging out with you guys, especially after the convention. Going.
Oh
to
yeah, the
dinner,
con was
going.
terrible. The con was just absolutely horrible. I heard there was 217,000 people that showed up over that weekend, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I believe it because
It
it
felt
was
that.
it
It
was
felt like
nothing
that.
but, I mean, you know, really, here's a
And guys, if
person,
you
there's a
if you
person,
want to
and you
if
got
you want to
nowhere to
see the
stand. Oof.
And if you guys want to see the pictures that Netter took throughout the weekend, check out her stream from last night. We kind of did our vacation slides, so to speak.
Ignore the bad pictures.
Yeah, some of them
I
were
didn't
a
expect
little,
Troy to show all of them.
but we're
Gary.
wondering if instead what we do is maybe we just go like we did in the old days and lobby con it, where we just go down to Orlando, get the room, hang out the week and weekend of MegaCon, and then just get together with
Yeah, I
people.
agree. Just that really hanging out with friends is the only thing that I enjoy doing when I'm there.
I felt like, and Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think a lot of us are going to follow in this thing. There are only like a few reasons to be there. Sometimes there's a panel you want to see, or there's somebody you want to see that's an actor or something, maybe get an autograph. But that's a lot of money to pay for that kind of an opportunity. And I feel like unless you really want to be on a given day, it's amazing just to spend time with your people. And the thing is we're big enough now as an entity to do that. I mean, we proved it multiple times last weekend. So I feel like it was again. I'm never gonna say I don't enjoy the opportunity to hang out with people, but maybe the con's not the place to do that. The meetups that we made it to, the events we made it to, were great. And the fact that I just got to hang out in a very loose way with you guys, is phenomenal.
I agree. I
that-
agree. I think the only reason to be at a con is if you're on a panel,
Yeah.
or you're meeting your friends there. Waiting in line for a celebrity is. I did it once.
Oh,
and
I'm
that-
not doing
And
that
that's
anymore.
because he was a fellow Mason. That's the only reason why I did it.
Fair enough.
But other than that, I just go to see my friends, and hang out, and that's it.
So here's my thought, and here's my suggestion. I've already talked to Netter about this. I kind of put myself out there and promised her that we do this anyway. She enjoyed hanging out at Universal more than the con itself. So I said, you know what we're gonna have to do, honey? We're gonna have to come back down. Now that I know I can do the 18-hour drive. Oh, by the way, you can scold me if you want, Gary, but I decided to do the 18-hour drive on Sunday straight through.
Oh.
So we did it straight 18 hours. Got home by about
1:30 in the morning.
1:30 our time, which would have been 2:30 from when we left. And I made it. So that gave me the whole day off the next day to rest and recuperate.
You're crazy.
I know. I really am.
Well, the way we figured it, when we went up, we left our time about 5 p.m.
So 5:30, Eastern.
Yeah, about 5 p.m. Central, so 6:30 Eastern. And then we had to stop around 1 in the morning because by then we'd worked a full day, plus we were driving. So we stopped halfway, got a couple hours sleep, and then continued on. On the way back, we started off in the morning.
Yeah.
So at 1 o'clock in the morning,
which is when we
were
normally
home.
have been going to bed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. But anyway, I can do it.
Yeah. Which I think is great if you can do that. I can only do about 14 hours in the chair now. I mean, I know where my limit is.
I dig it. I dig it.
But let me just say one last thing. As somebody who gets a content house when I go to these events, because I need a kitchen, I need a toilet for myself, a private bathroom, and I need a good bed. So I usually rent a content house, have a few creators in there. But I think that those kind of meets that you could literally do live streams from that particular content house. You could do live streams from event locations. I mean, just the City Walk area. If you walked around there in the Universal area, was phenomenal. We could literally rent a private room and just have a podcast in a restaurant in one of those places because they have that option available.
That would be a lot of fun. But what I'm thinking, instead of getting the tickets for the con, because she's looking at advanced tickets in, when is it, May or March?
Be very careful. Be careful about that. I mean, even in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you really just want to hit the events. I'm gonna and I've done this for now. What we're going on 5 years. So I'm just gonna say the events are the things you want to go to, and some of this other stuff maybe is superfluous. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a reason to get together in a location, and if you want to get, up close and
Like
personal,
a day pass or something like
or
that.
whatever, that makes sense. But
no,
I would rather
think instead
I'd rather spend time with you guys. And
right.
And I'm not the only person that said this. I mean, Gary's on top of it. There's
Yes.
not a lot of reasons to be there. I mean, and my opportunity to hang out with Gary and Andy, while not exactly as much time as I would like to spend, was still some of the best time I spent. So
I think what I would instead rather do, and I promised Netter that I would take her back, since next year, by then the Epic Universe will be open.
Yeah,
we'll go back the week of MegaCon, but I will get her passes for us to go to Universal, and then, like I said, we can hook up with all you guys.
Yeah,
and
you kind of have direct access to a lot of us. I mean, it is kind of what it is. I mean, you end up going to one of these events, you exchange contact information and all kinds of other stuff. So. But honestly, I'm very sorry. I need to step out. I just want to say this was an amazing stream. The new Captain America movie is garbage. And
yes, it is.
And Gary's cool, and Andy's the most talented person I know. So I gotta go. I love you guys.
I agree.
Take care, Culture. See you later, man.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, Culture.
And Gary, you're going to be heading out too. You got a hot date.
I got a few minutes.
I want you to be incredibly successul with whomever it is.
Well, of course it will, but it will be
because you're you.
If I keep her waiting a little bit, keep her on ice, you know what I mean? It's even better. So this.
You notice I waited for you to say her because I didn't know for sure, and I didn't.
Oh, really? Oh, you didn't know, huh?
Why?
Well, okay.
Well, I suspected, but I didn't want to assume, because these days you never can, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I hope you have a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, we'll see.
But Nate, I swear you are like the biggest supporter of the channel. Let me tell you. He just dropped $2 to say goodnight to Culture Casino. I will make sure that he knows that you said goodnight to him. But and make sure you're following Culture Casino, because every morning he's got his 6-minute daily, which is more like 16 minutes. But anyway, it's his show. He does what he does. Great cover. He covers culture very well. Anyway, but well, look who came to take the open seat. Jonas J. Campbell. I was not going to drop any names, but I did get to meet Jonas J. Campbell this past week, and it was a blast. Welcome, Jonas. How are you doing, my friend, and what are you sipping on tonight?
You're muted, Jonas.
You're probably muted. All I can say is we're not hearing you.
Still muted. Hello.
Can you unmute him, sweetie?
Still muted.
I can only request that he unmute himself.
How do we know it's really him? It could just be his avatar.
That's right. It could be. This
is a ruse.
This could be a Russian bot, is what it could be.
Exactly.
Could be Annabelle the doll pretending to be him.
Right. Still muted.
Let me tell you, that movie, Annabelle, that's a really scary looking doll. You see the doll in real life? It's a friggin' Raggedy Ann doll.
Okay,
that's not scary.
Forgive me. I couldn't hear a thing. So
here we go.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, welcome. So good to see you. I was saying that I am not dropping any names of anybody who wasn't actually here on the panel. But yes, I am. I consider myself honored that I got to meet Jonas J. Campbell, this past week.
I was so
was.
excited when I heard, well, Troy's here, and I was like, oh, I'll meet Troy, and then I heard it was Troy Pacelli, and I was like, oh, okay.
Because you know a lot of Troys? Is that the
No, it's just I hadn't made the connection there, and Gary is dodging my calls, so I just wanted to catch up with him.
Yeah.
Find
Thanks
out,
a
Gary
lot,
does that.
Troy. Thank
find,
you for
find out
this.
about the $50,
Making it
but,
real awkward.
yeah.
he does that? You know, no, you're blaming me. You don't return your calls, Gary. It's not my
I
fault.
owe the guy money, you know. I'm
You
trying to
keep-
blow
you
him
keep the
off, and you
date
bring him on the
waiting, you don't
show. I
return
mean,
your
you know, like, what am I supposed to do?
Gary, after tonight's date, make sure you call the girl back, okay? Don't you know? Just say.
Let's not get crazy here, okay, Troy? Come on, man.
Jonas, it was a pleasure to meet you. Though.
It
It was
absolutely
really nice
was.
to meet you guys.
Look, and you, well, Culture's not here to vouch for what he said, but he said something very similar to what you did too. Just the fact that you recognize my name, I'm like, how does Jonas J. Campbell know Troy Pacelli? I'm Joe Nobody, right?
You said something
And-
nice to me, and that kind of stuck in my head. I guess I'm just a sucker for a compliment. So
Yeah, well, I should think you get all kinds of compliments. I mean, you know, and look, I hear the way the WD Pro talks to you, and, you know, it's like, you know,
well,
I
but
figured-
it's more that he just interrupts me than he actually talks to me.
well, you know, when you're running a show, I do that too. Netter's always, Troy, stop interrupting the guests. Okay, I'm sorry.
Really? We didn't notice. Wow.
At all.
You know, and the more I drink, the more I tend to talk, and
I didn't
that
notice
is my
that
problem.
either. Wow.
That is my problem. Let me tell you. But I tell you, Jonas J. Campbell, if you didn't already know, and I'm pretty sure everybody that follows you does know this, that is a golden voice.
Well, thank you
Yes.
very much.
It really is.
I did absolutely nothing to earn it, and I feel like if my voice sounded more like my personality, it would be much higher, much squeakier, and much more annoying.
I don't want to say too much, but you are well, and this is true actually on air as well as in person. You're a very humble individual, and it's a kind of humility that is very this is going to sound wrong, but I can't think of another word. Attractive. It is a very positive. It serves you well.
Okay,
and,
well,
and I think people like
I'll tell a little story. I used to work fast food. My first job was working fast food, and I've always had a low voice.
Me too.
So
Mhm.
I would get on the hello, welcome to Shake Shack. Can I take your order? And I mean, I'd really lean into that mic as much as I can with that little, crappy little headset
Absolutely.
mic they got. And every now and then I'd get a, oh, who is this?
Yeah,
And
it's like I used to work for Sony Theaters way back in the day. And there was one time where I had to record the movies that were coming up in the times. And I'm trying to record, and my coworkers are standing behind me, and they're cracking up because they're like, "You've got a porn voice." I'm like, what? They're like, what you were just, because what I was trying to record was, tonight we'll be showing, what was it? I think it was Les Miserables, showing at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and 10 p.m. in theaters 1, 2, and 3. And they're like, "You have a porn voice." I'm like,
That's
somebody else
amazing.
record this. I don't want a porn voice in our recording.
I mean,
they meant it in a good way.
you guys, that's way better than our local theater that called it Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Les Miserables.
Nobody else can pronounce it. They kept saying Les Miserables. And I'm like, it's Les Miserables. It's
Yeah.
like, and it was an affront to me because I'm French Canadian on my father's side. So it's like, I mean, my maiden
You gotta
name
at
was
least
La
get the
France.
French
Yeah.
pronunciation.
When you have
correct,
a
right?
maiden name of La France, it's like, don't mispronounce the French.
Better as a porn voice. Yes, you know? Clue. Yes, she does. Oh, you know what's even better is when she and she is very prone to losing her voice when she gets a cold. But when she gets a cold, there's a period in there
where I sound like Jessica Rabbit.
She's got that Kathleen Turner raspy voice, and it's
I'm
like
just drawn that way.
Unfortunately, she's in no mood for anything because she feels like crap. But that voice sounds awesome, let me tell you. But one of these days, we'll figure out how this mixer thing here works that she got. Maybe we could play around with it.
I could just come on with Scottish accent because you're not on my mum's side.
Yes, she does. She's a
my mother's from Lancashire,
accent
so
sponge,
I'm Scottish on my grandfather's side.
But yes, so it was incredible meeting Jonas, and you know, I said it was funny because you have a very, very different looking beard in real life. It's just, you know, I mean, you got a beard, but it's a very different looking beard. So I was a little thrown by that.
The glasses are spot on, though.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It is the it's not the what is it they call it, the horn rim? No, the horn rim's the girl style. These are brow line glasses right here.
Yes, absolutely,
absolutely. Yeah. Not the main fascist, but the secondary fascist in the movie. His glasses. That's what we're going for here.
Oh, there you go, absolutely. But man, it was, and between you and. Again, I don't want to name drop, but there was another individual that I met that I thought was just, wow, meeting this guy is just so amazing. Okay, so I just cut it down by 50%. You guys know it was a male individual. And he was like, yes, I've heard so much about you, Troy. And I'm like, from who? What have you heard? It's probably a lie. He goes, oh, no, it was all good things. And I'm like, probably still a lie. But no, I have no idea who's been talking me up in the YouTube sphere. It's like, how do these people that I admire so much actually know me?
Yeah, that's one thing about this weekend. Troy was totally fanboying.
Yeah, I kind of was.
Everyone we were meeting, he's like, oh my gosh, they've heard of me.
Yeah.
No, it's okay though, and there's a reason why. It's because you're a nice guy and you're both real people. And that was good.
Yeah, Jonas is a very nice guy. I mean, he really is, and he's genuine. I mean, you get that impression from, you know, the streams you see him on and stuff. He really is that cool a guy in real life. You know, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just Joe Nobody in the Midwest, and it's like everyone was like, hey, come sit with us at the cool people's table, you know.
I'm starting to feel like we're on the Sammy Maudlin show on SCTV. Did you ever watch that? Like they're all sitting around just congratulating each other and stuff.
Kinda. No, it absolutely. And well, I actually had this conversation with Jonas. You know, if I say this wrong, Jonas, correct me. The way I remember it was I said something about being a fan, and you're like, I really don't feel comfortable with that term fan. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't use fan the way most people do. I am not, like, I had no interest in getting in line and spending money on these celebrities to get those autographs. I could care less about those people. The people I'm a real fan of are people that I have really interacted with, that I really admire as people, and I come to think of as friends, you know? So those are the people I'm really fans of. So keep that in mind when I say I'm a fan of yours. You know what I mean?
Speaking of fans, you know, I got Andy Masterson's autograph this weekend. Speaking of Andy, are you there, Andy? Hello. Tune in Tokyo. Come in one time. There you are.
Was it an autograph on a blank check?
No,
those are the best kind.
Andy signed my chest. You know, I stuck
he grabs his arm and he says his chest.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
that?
Yeah.
Took him into the gym, had him working out a little bit.
He did.
Are you going to go have that tattooed on now?
Andy Masterson is fresh.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to have there.
I don't blame you. I would absolutely do that.
Yeah. I get a big tattoo in Old English. Andy Masterson is the bomb.
So, can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Yeah. I got you now.
I think.
Did you cut out for a second?
Yeah, it did. It totally cut out. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. The little wavy bars were going, but what I was trying to say was Gary was trying to compliment you on being a nice guy, Troy. So
Oh, I totally misunderstood.
Yeah.
Well, that's very, very nice. Yeah, he doesn't like the reputation of sounding like he's complimentary or nice. He wants
Yeah.
to. He wants the reputation of being an asshole, and I don't want to ruin that for him. But I like
Thank
Gary.
you.
And, you know,
Thank
it's
you.
just you know.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to thank Ruby Hoof for gifting a membership to the Clue channel. Welcome,
Clue
Clue,
Studio.
to
Clue
Clue
changed their
Studio.
name, so it's Clue Studio.
I'm
now.
sorry, he did change the name of his branding. Clue Studio. Welcome to Last Call membership. Thank you so much for being here.
And I want to say hello to Pacific. Excuse me, Pacific 414.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I totally misunderstood. Again, you know, I never assume people are talking about me when they're saying nice things. I always assume, you know, it's somebody else. Who, me? But, you know, really.
By
you
the
know,
way, Ruby Hoove
yes.
is very nice and married to obviously Mr. Hoove, and they're great. They're always dropping memberships into that Park Place chat. Not
Yes.
that I'm trying to give myself a plug here or anything, but I appreciate when I see people like on multiple streams. That's very kind to show your support.
It really is, and it's a great way to help a channel you know, build itself. It pulls people into the community. Ruby Hoove has been doing that, I have to say, consistently on almost every stream of mine, and I can't express my appreciation enough. I wish there was something that I could do to show my appreciation. I guess the only thing I can do is provide the best show that I can, which I hope I'm doing anyway.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I hate to run quick, but
I
I
understand.
just got a text to say that my kid needs to be. We thought my oldest was going to be dropped off here. Turns out I got to go to a friend's house to go pick her up. So I got to run. Troy
Thanks for
Netter.
dropping in. You make me feel like $1,000,000, like you know, a big star comes by to, you know, grace my
Oh,
little
please
channel.
stop! If you keep that up, I won't be able to come back. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, that's why
Yeah,
we invited you. You know.
Gary, Andy, always good to see you. Aged boomer, thrilling conversationalist, man. Great to talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, there is a voice there.
See, he's got a great voice too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Oh, thank you.
But
Thank you.
I'll catch up with you all later and have a great night. And Gary, best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Jonas.
Yes.
See you,
I'll
Jonas.
need it.
See you.
See you later.
Man, oh man. Yeah, and again, this was you introducing me around, and culture referred to it as networking. I feel funny about that term, but I guess that's kind of spot on. You know, it was great getting a chance to hang out with, like I said, channels that I listen to and enjoy on a regular basis, but then to have them respond back to me in this way of like treating me like a peer, you know, it just made me feel like, oh, just $1,000,000. You know, I mean, try not to let it go to my head because then my hat won't fit. You know what I mean? So, but real quick, I want to bring this comment up because somebody's saying my name. Troy and Netter, Kimmy Kibb is going to Comic-Con tomorrow. Hope she'll share her experience with her YouTube and maybe my live stream next weekend. Well, if she does, make sure you share out that stream so that we can boost the signal and that we can check it out, because I would definitely love to see that. But yeah, it was good to get back to the convention thing. I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed hanging out with people, how much I kind of struggle with the travel and the, you know, the lodging and the stuff like that and the long walks. My knees are still kind of hurting me. But again, like I said when I was there, probably good for me because I need to get back in cape shape. So I will definitely be working on that. So, Gary, I think you're going to be the next one out very shortly. Where can everyone find you, and what would you like to plug while you're here?
Well, you can find me every Wednesday night on the Overlord DVD channel on Dictor Van Doomcock's Pop Culture Breakdown, along with my bestest buddy of all time, Andy Masterson, who's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can check out my channel. I restore old movie props and little pieces of cinema history on my own channel, which you can find at Gary Ambrosia. Just my name on YouTube.
Well, he's linked in the description below
Okay.
too. So just go ahead and click on that.
Very
and
good.
It'll get you there.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah, that is that. It was great to be here, man. I love you guys
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
I think you're fantastic, and it was not a mistake inviting you. It was a good thing. I'm very,
But
very.
you had your questions, right? It's like, what are these people really like? Well, let me meet them
No.
and see
Well,
if
let's
they're
put it
okay.
this way. I had questions about you. I
Yeah,
knew
well,
that
I
your
can
wife-
understand
right.
that. Yeah.
I knew that your wife was a great person from the moment I met her.
Thank you.
But you, I'm like, let's check out this Troy guy. We got to maybe.
Did I pass
make
the muster
sure.
though?
What's that?
Did I pass the muster though?
You did.
Okay.
No, you did.
I can improve. I can improve.
No,
I know.
you did. You did. But yeah, thanks again for having me here, guys. I really appreciate you. And I will see you soon. Hail to the chat. Hail to the wrenches. Hail to all you guys out there in TV land. Keep watching. This is a good show.
Thanks
See you
so
later.
much, my friend.
Bye,
Take
Gary.
care.
See you, Gary.
Later.
It kind of is like TV, isn't it? I mean, I guess that's how I kind of think of it. I kind of have thought of our channels as like, late night. This is the replacement for all those late night shows that are so grating because, they're so one-sided. I kind of rip on everybody. Myself mostly, I mean, I miss that kind of self-deprecating humor. You used to get that all the time. I look at like Chris Farley, I kind of see a little bit of Chris Farley in myself, not the, so much to excess that, I cut myself short. I don't want to do that, but, the self-deprecation, I kind of get that, maybe that's why I like John Candy so much too, and a lot of his movies, I kind of relate on that level too. But, I got friends like Andy Masterson who build me up and, tell me, hey, you aren't so bad, man. Relax a little bit.
Well, that's the best part about getting to meet people in person and find out like everybody's the same. Everybody's just a normal person, and every once in a while you will meet the occasional creator on YouTube that thinks very highly of themselves. But it's been my experience, but by and large, everyone that you meet is very, very down to earth and very approachable and accommodating, and that's one of the nice things about this whole community is everybody sort of does that thing, and it's nice. It's really nice that we can get together, and you get to associate with a lot of fans. You get to actually talk to people about the different shows you're on, and give them a little bit of appreciation because without the audiences, then we're just talking into blank air, and they're very important to us, and so and the only reason that we talk about these things is that we love them so much. Things like the action figure collections, and it's for you, it's for the individual, so that you can have your stuff, your shelf full of things to represent the things that you love, and it should be individualized to you. And right now, with Hollywood giving us much crap, it might not be what you want on your shelf. So find something you do want on your shelf and go from there.
I have to agree. I mean, I think everybody out there can relate to this. If you're not getting what you want, you got to do it yourself. Wait a minute. That sounds bad. But seriously, it's true. Michael over at Retro Blasting is always saying the fans are doing the best work. And when I hold up one of these custom action figures, this was a toy I wanted so desperately as a kid, the Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man, right? And I would imagine that the MegaCon Spider-Man was that Nicholas Hammond. But the little details, like the web swingers and the web cartridge, on his belt, the microphone eyes, that matters. That sets it apart. The MegaCon Hulk was based on the 1966 Hulk cartoon, where Hulk was actually shorter than all the other characters, whereas Lou Ferrigno was towering over everybody on that show. So I wanted my Lou Ferrigno, and I kind of love the idea of also having a Bill Bixby with a Fonzie thumb for hitchhiking. But yeah, I mean, we got to do it ourselves. And Deleted Scenes is always talking about this too. See you in the chat there, Stephen. Saying, we can't. Oh, the pupper. Okay, yeah. They take over the show when they come on. He loves you so much. Look at that.
Cute little Doge.
Is that not sweet? But
that's Andy's co-host.
Yeah, Andy's
co-host, co-pilot.
Exactly. But the question is, can he start and end a stream for you? That's the important. Yeah, exactly. Well, you could teach him that, though. You absolutely could. But like Steven is always saying, the late night shows have become insufferable. We kind of have to do it ourselves, right? The news has become unreliable. We have to do it ourselves, and a lot of the streamers are absolutely doing that, and that's why this is so important. This isn't just partaking in culture; we are part of culture. I mean, I don't think I'm overselling it, am I?
No, I don't think so. But on that note, I'm going to go take some NyQuil and get to sleep. See if I can't.
You have been a trooper, because I know you were the one of all of us that said you went to the con and you came back with con funk.
I think I got it on the flight home. There were some people behind me that were sneezing and coughing.
Hacking and coughing. Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just, little.
No, you got to get your rest and kick it out and get back to business. By the way, I did what you told me to do. I have on order from and I'm gonna give attribution. ClassicTVToys.com. I've got the S-type MegaCon body, a pin for the head. You could just use it, for the full set of clothes. The only thing is they don't have a black fedora. I had to get a gray fedora. I'll have to paint it, but I'll get those to you as soon as I receive those.
Cool.
But looking forward to that, my friend. If you can work me in.
And to feel better, use my recipe that I use whenever I'm feeling ook.
Yeah.
Honey, either candied ginger or ginger root, and lemon in tea.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it makes me feel so much better.
And Geek Flag wants to say goodnight, Andy, and thanks for coming.
Good night, everyone.
I'll find a way to get you that $2.
It was wonderful, wonderful meeting you guys in person.
You too. We'll see you again.
Same here.
Probably later this year or next year.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Salute.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Good night.
And then there's you, Boomer, who, like I was saying, met you for the first time a week and a day ago. Am I right? It was on Thursday night?
Yes, it was on a Thursday. I drove down. We had dinner. We had very tasty meatballs.
Oh, the meatballs were great, and I had a very spicy gnocchi. What did you order? Do you remember?
I ordered lasagna. I tried the in-house lasagna. It was pretty good.
You had the lasagna, and Netter had a shrimp and
right,
shrimp
like a shrimp scampi,
like linguine.
Shrimp and linguine. Yeah, that's what it was. It was really, really good stuff.
Yes.
That was wonderful. So I was telling everybody that
who ended up with the tiramisu.
I forget. That was the
I
gentleman
think
sitting
Nick.
next to me.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Nick.
He shared
Nick.
it with us, though. He couldn't eat the whole thing.
That's the one. That's the one name I will drop, just because. Well, he's in like so many of the pictures from last night. Nick from Echo Base Studio got together with us, and we had dinner with him. Most of the nights we were there, actually, and then we walked around Universal with him. He was a lot of fun too. But yeah, we told him to take the tiramisu because we couldn't. We had just so much. And
so I have a question that's been burning on my mind.
What's that?
To ask you about MegaCon.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to see Snarky J while you were there?
No. What I did see. So did you see her recent video talking about?
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I know it looks like she dressed up as She-Hulk, because that's what
yes,
made her famous to begin with her She-Hulk brand video.
I did not see any of her costumes. I saw all of her costumes in her videos. I didn't see her there personally.
I'm sure it's a big place, and it was about seeing the right person.
Well, here's the thing. She
tried to get a table there, and they turned her down.
Yeah.
What?
She couldn't get a table, so one of the vendors gave her some space in theirs, and she had like the big banner up that she would be there, and that's where she would meet people and stuff like that.
I see.
We saw the vendor, we saw her thing, and I'm like, hey, Snarky J is here. But we didn't actually see Snarky
I know.
J
It's a timing thing, yeah.
Well, here's the other thing, too. Had I seen her walking around the convention, after having seen her video, I may not have even recognized her. I'll be honest with you.
She's really good at the cosplay, so she can look like anything.
She really is. She does it spot on. She's definitely, well, I mean, that's why her thing is the cosplay. I do think she's working the streaming and the personality that she doesn't even need to do or if she decides she wants to stop doing that or outgrows it or whatever. She's got a future in broadcast, but I told Netter, I said, it's pretty cool, and if we run into her, I want to meet her father. Because her father's been in some of her videos, and it's like, you know what? I suspect I would have a lot in common with
him, yeah.
Real quick, want to say hi and welcome to Adega Outlaw. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you, and salute.
And Gorilla Sensor Thoughts.
There you are.
And Joe's Atmosphere.
Thoughts. Good to see you.
And Joe's Atmosphere says Snarky J is awesome.
She absolutely is. And I thought I said hi to Joe earlier.
You might have done, and I may not have heard you.
I don't remember these. You guys, I love you so much. You're my regulars. I just assume you're always here. And sometimes, I miss you in the chat sometimes. But, so we saw where she was. Same thing with Critical Drinker. He had a spot at the... I have to assume he was at the Ripaverse table. We saw his banner, but we didn't actually see him personally. We got to see him.
Well, I think he showed up later, but we couldn't get anywhere close to the table. The
table was just, oh my gosh. The guys were saying it was crowded on Thursday. It was even more crowded on Friday. Saturday was a flippin' nightmare. It was like Dante's Inferno, people shoulder to shoulder. It was just ridiculous. Oh, real quick, welcome. Happy 6th Alita anniversary. Thank you so much. Yes, I had actually forgotten. That's absolutely true. It's been 6 years since Alita Battle Angel was released, and we still have no damn sequel. Yeah. What the hell, people? But
I know, man. It's a bunch of BS.
That's Disney for you. This is a cosplay I would have loved to have seen at MegaCon. Would have been Alita Battle Angel. That would have been very spot on. Yeah. But and so I don't know if I told you this story, Boomer. I know I told the story last night on Netter's stream. We saw a lot of vendors. All of them were selling. They were either selling really cool artwork, right? Or they were selling, toys and other memorabilia and stuff like that. We had pictures of, you were in the chat. We had pictures that we had taken specifically for you of these old consoles that, were all for sale and whatnot.
I pointed out what that one was in the chat. I don't know if you saw me.
One was Sega. Yeah, exactly.
It was a Sega Mega Drive, which was what the
Mega Drive.
Genesis was called in other parts of the world. I want to say that was an Asian version, maybe Japanese. I'm not sure because it had the blue button on it, and I have a replica mini console of that. That's the Mega Drive version, and so the Genesis over here had a white reset button. That one has a blue reset button. That's how you can tell the difference.
But but I didn't see anything there that was so unique. I had to get it, because if there was something I really wanted, we could either get it from the vendor later, get their card and contact them later, or Netter could probably find it somewhere on eBay or something like that. For instance, directly across from where the Ripa table was, there was a vendor selling action figures, and they had a whole bunch of, and I know Tim will know what I'm talking about here. They had a Saga collection, 3 3/4 inch Star Wars action figures. Saga collections were the ones where you'd see the figure in there, and packed in with it was a specific piece of a droid. And it was the Droid Factory collection. What you would do is you would get an arm or a leg or a torso or a head or whatever, and you'd have to buy like 3, 4, 5 figures in order to get the pieces to assemble this one. Those figures go for a lot of money now because people are trying to get that particular droid, or they're trying to get that particular figure or whatever. So I saw a couple that I was interested in. They were the Jawas that came with the. They were one of the droids from the sale of the droids. And I'm like, if I could get that for a good price, I want to get it. But I didn't want to get it on Thursday and be carrying it around with me. But when we went back on Friday, I said, if it's there and it's a good price, I'll get it. Well, I got there and they weren't there anymore. So I'm assuming they sold. And Edder's like, well, just ask and see if they have any more. But I'm like, no. I had decided if they had it, I would get it. And it was a good price. I said, if not, if I really, really wanted them, Netter could probably find it online. But I don't need them because they're actually figures I already have. I just was looking to see if I could get a good deal, But not really worth it. What I would say is not worth the price of admission. You know what I'm saying?
Remember the old days, you'd go to a Star Trek convention and they'd have stuff you couldn't find anywhere because, of course, it was. But now that was for the internet. So,
yeah, that's right. So, but the downside to that was you would get like a resin replica, say phaser or something, and they'd be selling it for like $300.
Oh yeah, not cheap.
Not cheap, because where else could you get it, right? But then the internet comes out and everyone and their brother is resin casting these things, and you can get them for, the only way you can undercut them is when the toy companies would make good replicas, and then they were hollow plastic with the electronics inside of it. Where else could you get for $40 a phaser that's got lights and sound, as opposed to a big, heavy, solid resin piece?
When did the toy companies ever make these things? I remember being a kid in the late 80s. I wanted a phaser with
like
sound effects in the worst way. They didn't sell
It wasn't until the 90s when Playmates started putting them out.
And all the Star Trek figures was all TNG stuff, which I was not a fan of at the time because in the
70s you can get MeGo figures. See,
I actually got one of those at a Star Trek convention. I got a Captain Kirk MeGo figure.
Yeah, I've got them all now. And they put out a lot of the aliens, but they were almost like aftermarket versions. So, like, for example, they put out the characters. They call them the Sharon because they were from the planet Sharon.
Right.
The guys that were black on one side, blue on the other, but they didn't look like they did on the show. They were literally from head to toe, well, head to crotch, I guess, black on one side, but white on the other side.
In their defense, though, especially if this was unofficial, that's probably how they would have done it in the 70s. They wouldn't have been paying that close attention to the detail.
Exactly.
They would have been sloppy like that. Yeah.
The Mugatu, for example, instead of being like a gorilla, with a spike on his head and a tail, this was just a kind of like, I think they were pulling parts from their Planet of the Apes line, and then they put them in this weird hippie hippie shirt with fringe to make it look like fur. And I'm like, you know, and so now, you know, the custom figures are so much better, like a Hulk body with a fur suit, you know, and a head that actually looks like the Magato. Much better. And now MegaCon is back. They had gone out of business, and they've reformed in the aughts, and they're putting out the figures now. And so, like, their Klingons, they did Kang, Koloth, and Kor, you know, with, you know, accurate faces so that they look like the Klingons from the shows. Their Gorn isn't the lizard from Marvel now. He actually looks like the Gorn with the microphone eyes and the tunic and whatnot.
That was a cool look. They should have kept that when they brought them back, you know.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You know, just like with the Klingons, you know, the talk about the canon and, you know, the bumpy foreheads and the smooth foreheads, and there has to be an explanation for that. The Gorn, you know, you have the microphone eyes of the original series, and then you have the blinking slit eyes of Enterprise era and stuff. And, you know, the way that Star Trek Online explains it is that Gorn actually have reptilian eyes, and those microphones are like not glasses, but like goggles that they wear to protect their eyes.
Okay. They always,
it's interesting.
They did that with the Silurians on Doctor Who too. They did this when they brought them back during the Matt Smith era. It's like, don't, you can make them look alien. It's okay.
I said the same thing, Nate, when she came downstairs with her hair down. I was like, wow, you are smoking tonight, Netter. Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you guys had a safe trip to and back. And I had a,
like I said, on the way up or down, I guess on the way down, Atlanta. Oh my gosh, I may actually add about a half hour to my drive next time just to avoid Atlanta. The drivers there are just, oh my gosh.
Drivers in Florida ain't so hot either, though, I have to tell you. But
I'll say this: Outlaw Bill.
The place where you were staying, though, wasn't too hard to get to, though. I'll say that. No. That was not a bad Orlando trip. I've had worse. It was that. Weirdly enough, the worst part was about an hour away from me was in Sarasota. That was the place that was gridlocked, and I don't know what was causing that. It's never usually that bad around that.
One of the Ubers that we took when we went out to dinner one evening was saying that the I-4, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of cuts across the peninsula, was just ridiculous all weekend. He said it always kind of is during rush hour traffic. He says, but right now with MegaCon, and you know what else? There was apparently some big nationwide get together of cheerleaders. In fact, Gary, I can't remember if it was Gary or Andy was talking about, like, half of his plane was all these cheerleaders, and I'm like, yeah, I can imagine.
That's interesting.
So that was more traffic, more people, and oh my gosh, just ridiculous. But we didn't take pictures of a lot of the costumes that we saw. Some of them were just absolutely eye-rolling. There were these 4 guys, very, very gay, flamboyantly gay, dressed in these very the only way I could say
tiny
it is
outfits,
gay versions, hot pants type style outfits that were clearly meant to evoke characters from the 100 Acre Wood. So Christopher Robin, Pooh, Piglet, and Eeyore. It was, just wow.
Absolutely going, are these guys going to strip?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, one of them, admittedly, was kind of buff. The rest, not so much.
Atlanta's always hard. I always get into traffic jams just north and south of there. I don't mind the traffic jam so much, but when people cut you off and slam on their brakes, that happened to me twice. And the second time, I almost had a pile up behind me. I was like, the hell is wrong with you people? But I'll tell you one thing that I was pleasantly surprised. You had told me you were concerned about us driving around Florida in Orlando. You said the how did you put it? You said like the lanes just kind of disappear on you.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I see that coming because Florida does something that and actually Georgia did it a little bit too. Something I've never seen up north. Printed on the street, it tells you this is where you want to be for I-4 or I-75 or whatever. And if you're not there, you got to look and go, oh, I see, I need to be in that lane or that lane. And they've got in that lane arrows that indicate merge, which lets you know it's going to go away. So that at least was pretty clear to me, and I really appreciated. So I didn't really have a lot of problem with Florida. In fact, between those markers on the roads and the GPS, I did pretty well. What I didn't do so well with, which is why I just was able to focus on the GPS, was I had put the entire 10 hours of the secret history of Twin Peaks on a thumb drive, and I tried listening to it, but it encoded badly, and it got all glitchy, so I just couldn't listen to it. So that was like, I wanted to take 10 of my 18 hours to get caught up so we could talk about it on Live from Sparkwood in 21, and I just couldn't do it. So hopefully I can do that this weekend, and we can get back to that on Tuesday if Deleted is so inclined. But damn,
Yes. We did a spur of the moment stream on Tuesday night. So yeah, we hanging out.
Oh, I missed it. But I did catch Geeky Geezers last week. Yes, we've got to get you up to speed on EVMux because it's worth it. It really, really is.
Was it that bad? Could you at least make out what we were saying?
Oh no, everything was fine. Okay. It's just you weren't able to do the intro.
No, not the intro. I'll put it to you this way: I didn't even want to try messing about because I was worried I would hit the wrong thing. I figured, look, we're already here. Just go live. It was a short stream too. It was just like an hour long. We just did the main stories were Jurassic Park trailer, unveiled.
Mm-hmm.
A new one with ScarJo fighting the dinosaurs and whatnot. You know?
Sure, why not?
Okay. We also did the Fantastic Four, Fan Four Stick.
No. This one isn't Fan Four Stick. This one is now.
Oh, that's right. It's the new one. It's
what is it called? First Flight or First Step?
First Steps.
Oh, whatever.
Deleted.
It's not the real Fantastic Four anyway, so whatever.
And then we also talked about Crocodile Dundee getting censored on the new cut of it.
That
for 4K
the hell out of me.
And yeah,
but
and Buffy reboot. Supposedly,
I did get some, and I think I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. I got some advice and instruction on EVMux from Culture Casino before the stream tonight, so I was able to actually set up in the studio the intro using the pro scenes here. So that's why the opening at least went so smooth. And I will do that for the next Geeky Geezers too, so that we can, just like StreamYard did, you go live and it automatically brings up your opening and stuff like that. So I'm figuring it out. I'm learning. So and then the next thing we got to do is get Netter on here with us so that you and Netter and myself can start and stop each other's streams, and we can, become a team. You know what I'm saying? Real network.
Cool.
It's one of the things I was kind of getting at the beginning of the stream, letting you guys know that I got a lot of advice from Culture and from Gary about just getting a vision for what we can be doing with the channel, and I'm pretty fired up about it. So I have to get some things in order. I've got to do some investing, get some hardware, and get this place straightened up, because I think we're going to move the filming location from here to my actual bar.
Well, plus your
Yes.
mother's coming in for a visit next month, so we gotta clean up anyway.
That's the other thing. I got to get this place straightened up before she comes
That'll
and
be
knows what the hell I
nice.
here. Yeah. Well, mom's coming. You got to clean up, before she gets here.
You should take her out to eat.
Oh, I probably absolutely will do that. Anything to get her out of the house so she doesn't see what a mess it is. But that Italian restaurant was good, wasn't it?
That was a really good Italian restaurant. I was actually, you never know, but that was good. I mean, that like I said, thank you for treating too. That was the very
There
nice of
was
you.
I kind of had to because we were mooching off of Gary all week. That's
Okay.
Gary is so kind and generous. It's like he's one of those your money is no good here type, and I'm like I feel like a mooch, and then I feel like well maybe I shouldn't be ordering the things I really want to get because someone
Every
else
time I
is
try to give him money, like to help out with the bill, he pushed my hand away, and it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried.
Exactly. But yeah. So but next year you will know well in advance when we're coming so that you definitely can get the time off and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Maybe get yourself if we do what I'm planning, get yourself a pass to that Epic Universe. We can go look around, maybe get some footage for the stream, because
we'll see.
I did get some pictures of the miniature, of the how do you call it, the setup that they had there, and it was
I don't know why that popped in my head. The Star Trek
because we were talking about the Gorn and stuff.
But I saw you with the giant dragon thing from Never Ending Story. That was neat.
Yes. Oh, there's this one point in the video where she took video and it like turns and looks at us. I'm like, holy crap, that's.
And I sent those pictures to Big Al.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't check MeWe to see if he saw them yet. Let me check.
He gave a thumbs up. But yeah, so maybe we could check that out. I mean, I'm assuming it's the same time every year, so we're probably looking at next February. So, start telling your people. I may have to take some time off next February. Just so you know. Just
let me know. Let me know. But
maybe I can introduce you to all the big YouTubers.
The big mucks, yes.
Yeah, make you feel like you're hobnobbing with YouTube royalty.
I felt like I was hobnobbing tonight, or even at the dinner. There were some big names there,
Right. You're sitting next to Nick from Echo Base and Gary and Andy, and you start to realize these guys are just regular people like me.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I think we're all regular people, but we all just kind of got involved in this, yeah.
And I've said this too on Live from Sparkwood in 21. All the people that I've met from Twin Peaks, that they're all pretty normal people too. It depends on when you meet them in their lives, right? Because at the height of their game, right, when they were real popular in the early 90s, maybe they'd have been a very different experience. But they realize, fame is fleeting. You don't always, you're not always going to be on the magazine covers, and you're not always going to be making the big bucks on a long running show. You might find yourself in very lean times, and that can be very, very humbling. So, but that's kind of how it was. The people that I met were at that point in their lives where they're like, I'm glad you liked what I did. Let's have a meal together. That's really what I'm talking about here. Some of the big celebrities, that you would have wanted to get their autograph back in 90, 91. Hey, is anyone sitting here? Can I sit with you? Yeah, absolutely. So good stuff. And it's been ever since then. I've just remembered that. Nobody is so special, that they deserve some kind of deification, right? They're just a human being, just like you are. But anyway, so what have I missed in the past week? What's been going on in the world, Agent Boomer?
Well, we'll be talking about that on Sunday on Geeky Geezers. There's a lot of US
A
aid
lot of
stuff.
articles I got to put together for you, apparently.
US
Holy
aid
crap.
stuff. I know that you're going to see like Disney, I think, is in there and gaming
Yeah, there's a
stuff,
lot
but
of Disney
if
stuff,
it's
yeah.
US aid, that's one section. I want that all in
Yes.
its own section. I don't want it to be separated out by Disney or by
Yeah,
I want US
I don't
aid in
think
one section.
I don't think this is a spoiler of any kind. This is pretty obvious, I think.
Look,
That
I feel like James Bond at the end of Casino Royale, and he's like, "Wow, you know, we're here doing all this espionage stuff, this hard espionage stuff, and all they have to do is basically blackmail one of our secretaries, and they get the stuff handed over to them like a secretary would give it to you.
Yeah.
It's like this is what
So-
I'm feeling in the culture war right
for
now.
as long as we've been doing this, and as long as all these channels, Midnight's Edge and everything, have been talking about the culture wars, we've been talking about the fact that these outlets, the media and the entertainment industry, do not care about our dollars.
And
We
now
are
we know
not the
why.
ones funding them. We have always assumed that it was, and
Private.
we're probably
I thought it
still,
was-
it's still true. I'm sure that the dollars were coming from Soros. I'm sure a lot of
and
dollars
other
were coming
people
from
like that.
BlackRock,
BlackRock. Yeah, it was.
but
It's
a
more
lot
to
of it was coming from your own friggin' tax dollars. Your own tax dollars have been used to spread propaganda, fake news,
Yep.
drum up the Russian collusion fallacy, and so many other things that were a bunch of crap, and all this DEI bull crap. All of it was this USAID.
We're going to talk more about it on Sunday, but yeah.
So that's going to be a big one. Well, because this is what we got into this for, was to talk about what's going on in the culture war. Well, guess what? Here's the payoff. This is the answer. This is what we've been looking at all this time.
It's a payoff, but not in the way I mean, it's like, yeah, a big old puzzle piece finally fell into our laps about why this has been going on. But at the same time,
but it's also being resolved now. We kept saying, well,
hope so.
If we stop giving them our money, they'll turn it around. And it wasn't happening. Well, the problem was ours was not the money they cared about. Guess what? The money they did care about has now been cut off. And that's why you're seeing some huge changes. Yeah, we'll talk about that more on Sunday.
We'll talk about it on Sunday. And then there's other stuff to talk about Sunday. I forget what. I always forget these things when you ask me on the spot, but we have a lot of I mean, there's some the big PlayStation blackout that happened last weekend where the PlayStation Network went down, and well, hey, this digital game I bought, for some reason it doesn't work now that their system shut down. That's odd. I thought I downloaded it on my console and I paid money for it.
Yeah,
I should own it, but I guess I don't. We'll talk about that on Sunday.
Who could have foreseen that?
Well, not only here's the thing. I remember back in the days of the PlayStation 3 when they were starting to sell a lot of these digital games, and I, like many other gamers, were skittish because it's like, well, I don't really own it. But then Sony would assure us, and they'd say, listen, you get a license for this game that you can install this game on your PlayStation 3, and you can put it on 4 other systems too. Later on, they amended it to 3, but I think that's because you were getting they would give you like a PlayStation portable version of the game and then like a regular PlayStation. So you were still getting a lot for that one digital copy. I don't know what has changed since then, and I don't know when it happened, but now it's feeling like all the stuff has DRM in it now. And I'd have to do more investigations on this, but I don't know if it's all companies. It was just this game Sega put out when they had that big nasty thing saying, well, you don't really own this, you're buying, and they did that whole, remember we did that art, that was for this game. So this is very anti-consumer, and I don't. Gaming's a mess right now. It just is, and it's also it's woke stuff, but it's more the bigger issue in my opinion is, do I even own the stuff I'm buying?
And and this relates to US aid too, because a lot of these these journos and
Yep.
these companies were also getting. So all your Gamergate stuff. Well, guess what?
Yep.
We got the answer on that too.
We're going to
And
be talking about this on Sunday.
That's
This
going
ridiculous.
bye-bye. I think you're going to, this year, we're not even going to get to Christmas time. A lot of the companies that we've been talking about saying this, they cannot continue this, they will end this year because they have no money coming in now.
Yeah.
They have no money coming in.
I think the press portion, yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of them going.
Especially the press portion. Yes,
yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Just
so good. There's a lot of good news. It's frustrating.
It's good and it's not good. That's how I look at it. It's good that it's finally been exposed, but it's awful that we find out how and why it was happening.
It's
I'm rather
awful
disgusted.
news, but we need to. It's like when you've had a chronic illness, right? And the doctors can't tell you what's wrong with you, and you finally find out. You're like, I still feel like shit, but now I know what treatment I need, and I can see the solution. You know, in the near future. You know, that's kind of how this is. You know.
Well, so, I don't. I think the colon's going to go on for a while now. I'll talk more about it on Sunday though.
Yeah,
but
there we go.
Yeah.
And by Sunday we'll have a better vision of what we got coming up. If I guess if you guys want, I'll get back into the Monday night at the movies. I'll have to figure out what we're doing for Monday night. Tuesday, if Deleted Scenes agrees, we'll get back to Live from Sparkwood in 21, and followed by the next episode of Blake 7. I'll get that stream up this weekend, and that gets us to Thursday. Netter, what do we got going on next Thursday?
Thursday, I have a very special guest. My guest will be Dad Mad Walking.
Dad Mad Walking, returning guest. That's awesome.
Possibly the missus.
Oh, wow. Mrs.
We don't know yet. That's still up there. She may or may not be available.
Is she Mom Woman Walking?
Could be.
There you
she
go.
usually goes by Mrs. Dad Man.
Yeah, there you go. But and then that'll bring us around to next Friday when I don't know what we'll be doing next week, but we'll figure it out before then, won't we, Agent Boomer?
Oh, for next Friday?
Yeah.
If you want, we never finished Gen X Part 2. We could do that next Friday.
Good call. Yeah. Let's do Gen X Part 2.
Just finished that. I still got the presentation. We could jump back into it.
That's right. I'm glad you reminded me. Yeah, see, that missing week, I've been completely discombobulated and completely off my game. So we'll get.
You know what? I'll throw another article in for Sunday too. I think we have room. Disney lost a ton of subscribers, Disney Plus, so that was a big thing.
I am not surprised. I wonder how many of those subscribers might have been not so much real people.
Oh man,
just a speculation on my part there. If you've got a bunch of slush fund money coming in from USAID and you want to launder that, how do you do that? Well,
maybe that's who bought all the Captain Marvel tickets for people that never showed up to the movie. You never know, right?
That's exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm just throwing things out there that I can't prove anything. But maybe it will be proven soon enough. We'll see.
As the audits continue, that's all
I'm a little angry about this thing, so you'll hear me talk more about it on Sunday. I'm just
I want to take a moment to thank channel members Connie Cleary, JPRPH1, Tim Hayes, celebrating their time as members. Jonas J. Campbell with a $20 super chat and coming on the stream and just being a all-around hell of a nice guy in person as well as on stream. And Geek Flag, as always, with many super chats. He is the most generous of super chatting channel supporters, keeping us going. And of course, Ruby Hoove gifting a channel membership to
Yes.
the Clue studio. So welcome, Clue. I will get you into the closing credits for next stream, but this week it's going to be everyone up to now, everyone who's current. So watch for your names, channel members. I want you to know how much you really, really are appreciated. And with that, Netter, can you give us an abbreviated outro?
Yes. I also want to remind everyone, in fact, Mark Dahley had asked me for my Twitter handle for this purpose. I am looking for guests for Thursday Things. So if you are interested in being a guest, you have a YouTube channel that you're trying to grow with your own content,
Right,
and you would like to be a guest, please GM me on Twitter. We'll get you on, and yeah, we'll have people get to know you, get to know your channel. And if you've been on before, that's cool too, because then we get to find out, hey, what you've been up to since the last time.
we got a new member, Adega Outlaw.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you so much, Adega. Super, super appreciate it. Yes, you guys really do. I'll tell you what, especially after this past week, we made a big investment in the channel, taking this trip, and I think it'll pay off in the long run. But it was a financial hit. I don't think Netter's even really thought it through, because that's a week's pay that I'm missing because I'm a contractor. So
Yeah, I got your paycheck.
yeah, that was a whole lot of nothing, right? And next week I'm still going to be missing a day off of this week. So, Geek Flag, thank you for the you tend to always get one in under the wire too. I thank you so much for that. You guys are so generous. I never got any of that USAID money, so I really, really do depend on the old-fashioned way, right? The people that enjoy what I do here actually supporting it, so that I can continue to provide, and I absolutely will. Just like the squirrels that Netter feeds in the backyard, you keep feeding them, they keep coming back, and you guys keep feeding me, and I'll keep coming back.
Yeah, but there's a difference. I can't get the little buggers to come anywhere near me. I've been feeding them for over 5 years. Almost every morning, I'll go out there, I'll give them peanuts, I'll feed the birds. I can't get any of them to come anywhere near me.
Well, do you sing to them like an old-fashioned Disney princess? That might work.
I give them food.
Well,
that alone should make them go, hey, it's a lady with the peanuts and the birdseed.
Yeah.
We should go say hello.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't.
Well, it's probably for the best. You don't want them become domesticated or whatever. They gotta.
Already got them spoiled.
Yeah, well, they are spoiled. we got a lot of fat squirrels, that's for sure.
Yes.
All right.
But we can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat. And you're dropping the comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in our family room.
We are.
Passing the popcorn and having a great time. And you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. I mean, you could be anywhere right now, and you're here. And that means so much to all of us. The way that you support us, it could be the comments, the thumbs up, sharing out the stream, becoming members, because we got a new member, the super chats, super stickers, all of that means so much. So thank you so much for being here, being a part of our family, supporting us on our channels. I mean, we couldn't do this really without you. It wouldn't be as much fun to do it without you. So thank you again. And until next time, which will be tomorrow night over on my channel, good night and God bless.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. I think you guys have all said it. It's a great community we got going here. That's one of the things that the folks were saying at MegaCon last week, that we really seem to have a really good community here. And I said, yeah, we do. And that's not me, that's you guys. So thanks again, guys. Take care of yourselves, because we want you to come back, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Good night, ladies. Good night, sir. Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One